Hello there, viewers, and welcome back to Eastside Hockey Manager. And thank you very much for the support on the first episode. Didn't know if you guys take a liking to this, but from the overwhelming support as well as the comments, it seems like you are up for a hockey series. So I'm here to deliver the goods to you. Today, we're actually going to get a start into this hockey season with a little bit more of the overview of how to play during a match. So let's get right into it then. What's up, people? It's Gendo here, and welcome back to Here Come the Hawks. And today, we're going to play the first couple of matches to open the season. And in fact, it's an all-New York affair, as you can clearly see over here. Our first three matches of the season versus New York teams. We're starting off at home versus the New York Rangers, an original six matchup. Then we're traveling out to Brooklyn to take on the New York Islanders. But before we get to that, there is a menu that I need to go over now that the regular season has started that will help you out if you choose to use this function. Or you can delegate it to your head coach, aka your assistant manager, and he will delegate it for you. And what that menu is, it's a similar concept to the training aspect of Football Manager, but in Eastside Hockey Manager, it is called Practice. Yes, we talking about practice. So where you gotta go to find that is you click on Roster, and then you go over to this Practice tab. I'm pretty sure it doesn't show up until late in the exhibition or the start of the regular season. But this is where you go to set all of your players certain schedules on what they need to be training for. You can have them set for general. Look at all these tabs. You can rest them: general fitness, skating, shooting, offense, defense, tactics, goalies, or just don't put them on any schedule, which means that they're not going to be playing, but don't rest them either. So they will still be getting their routine training as well. And then down here for your coaching, you can tell each individual coach what they should be training up. You can have them conditioning, skating, tactics, shooting, offense and defensive skills, and goalkeepers, much like with Football Manager. Down here in the practice area is a percentage value breakdown of how each practice will go, what each practice will entail. And it's broken down to three categories: general, power play, and penalty kill. And the default, you can't see it because it's behind my head right now, the default value is 60 to general and then 20 to power play and penalty kill. Now that's great, but what if your team is doing great in one area but weak in another? Say, for example, you're always on the power play, you always have a man advantage, but you just can't score goals. Next time the practice session comes around, you can lower the general, lower the penalty kill, and up the percentage of training for power play, and hopefully you can see the development in the next games to come, just to see if you can actually score on the power play. So it's a nice little feature. It's a lot different than Football Manager, clearly, but it's also a lot more simplistic, very straightforward on what you should be doing with your training. Now, before I get into the lines for this upcoming match, one thing you need to know about the rosters, and that is you can only have 23 men at a time. If you go over that, you have to send all your excess players to your developmental, your minor league systems, or just get rid of them, ship them off somewhere else, trade them, whatnot. Just, you can't have more than 23 on your roster. And as a subset of that, you can only have 20 suited up for any match at any given time. So as you can clearly see, there are several players blacked out right now. And I have 24 men on my roster, except that Jordan Tutu down here is on injured reserve. Now, the things about injured reserve is you can still have them on your main roster. They just will not count against your roster cap because they're technically not on the roster, so they won't be filling up a roster spot. As soon as he gets off of injured reserve, then my roster is over, and I need to delegate one of my players down to my minor league system. But for right now, I have 24 players on this list. However, 23 actually registered because I have one person on injured reserve. Right, so for this first match, I set the lines to as close to how the Blackhawks will do it in real life. And what I mean by that is the Blackhawks usually start with 6 defenders and having the full complement of 12 forwards in their lineup. And of course, the final 2 spots being the 2 goalkeepers. But the way they set their defensive lines are their first line defenders replicate on the fourth line. So Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook, as you can see, first first pairing as well as the last pairing. The reason for that is so you can have their top defenders having the best defensive stats, technical stats, and toughness replicated on that fourth line, where you need to have all of that as well. So, and Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook are one of the high stamina players on the Blackhawks, so they would be the two best players to utilize in this role. My second line defenseman, Hjalmarsson, but everyone in Chicago pronounces the J, and Michael Roosevelt, Brian Campbell, and Villapoka are going to be along the third line. Now, my forward lines, you notice that I don't have Patrick Kane on my first line. Well, Patrick Kane does not go on to the first line unless absolutely necessary. He gets relegated down to the second because he adds a lot of technical skill to that second line. So how the Blackhawks usually do it is they have Artemi Panarin, Jonathan Toews, and Marian Hossa sitting up front in that first line, starting the match off. Panik, Anisimov, and Patrick Kane along the second. Motts, I want to say Tyler Mott. Yes, Tyler Motts. He is actually currently in Rockford right now in real life. He's in the developmental territories. We got Mott Desjardins and Nick Schmaltz going to be on the third line. Rasmussen, Marcus Kruger, and Ryan Hartman along the fourth line. Not really the best, but when you take a look at how the units are looking, first line. Look at that, 4 stars offense, defense, speed, and 5-star skill. This is actually the only place where you can get 5 stars. Toughness of 2, that's to be expected. Second line, they drop the skill down to 4, but everything else remains the same. Third line, obviously not the best because, like I said before, as you're going down the lines, you're sacrificing your offense to be a little bit more defensive-minded and have a little bit better toughness. So offense and defense drop down to 3, everything else 4, 4, and 2. And on the fourth line, we actually do have a little better offense and defense, and as you can clearly see at the bottom, the toughness goes up to 3 stars. So I do have a decent lineup, if I do say so myself, for that fourth line in case we need to, match defense against defense, which, as have shown before, I will line up with equal lines. So opposing team puts out their first line, I put out my first line, 2-2, 3-3, 4-4 down the line. So that being said, let's get into the first match. All right, so this is what the match screen looks like in Eastside Hockey Manager. I'm currently on the Zoom view. That's why I can see a lot of the different logos that I got on here, the different logo packs that I loaded up. If I take off the zoom, it'll give you a smaller pitch, or it'll give you a smaller patch of ice, but underneath it, it'll give you a detailed breakdown of shots on goal, power play minutes, penalty minutes, etc. I personally will like to just go into the different box scores, the different stat screens as well. So I'm going to have the zoom on high. The zoom on high, I should say. Puck trace, turn on so you can actually see the puck. The highlights, you can have it set to all game, extended, key only, or none. None is basically the text base. I will say this, however, if I put it on key only, any highlight that you see will be a goal. It's happened before. If you watch Jack's series, you will see that he plays on key only, and every single time you see a highlight, it's a goal. So I'm pretty sure that it will speed up the game faster by doing key only, but I will back and forth go between key only and extended. So that's what we're going to do right now. Clock speed. We're going to have the clock speed on medium. Actually, medium goes by pretty fast, so we're going to put that on slow. Action speed, whenever there's a highlight, will be on normal. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to drop the puck, and as you can clearly see, this is what slow is, and I'm going to show you right now. If we put it on clock speed medium, yeah, look at how fast that goes. Look how fast that clock just goes by. And actually, as I pause it right now, we got ourselves in the middle of a highlight. So let's get into this. We do not have the puck. We are in the red. Rangers are in the white since we are the home team. And we just give up a goal. Stepan for the Rangers has scored not 5 minutes into the first period. That's not good for us. Defensively, we need to start doing a little bit better. At this point in time, I could always, here, if I pause the game, I can always go into my tactics screen and rejig all the tactics if I really want to. And actually right now, I will do that. I would say for shot targeting, leave it at not specified, because then your players will just shoot wherever. I think going for against this goalkeeper, let's just try high for right now. We're going to go with high right now. We're going to confirm that. And, well, let's just resume the match. For the different highlights, do you want me to have it on clock speed low right now, slow, or should I keep it on medium? Because you saw how fast medium goes, and you're seeing how slow clock speed slow goes. So please let me know in the comments whether you'd like to see it it's at this pace right now on slow or a little bit faster on medium. In fact, I'll go back and forth between the periods to give you an idea. Okay, so after the first, we're going to take a look at the shot chart. We actually have had a lot of shots. We have had 12 shots on goal. That's insane. Obviously, all of them blocked, or actually 3 of them blocked, not a lot of them saved. So we've had plenty of shots, but they just haven't gone through, and that's unfortunate for us. So let's get back into the game, and we got ourselves a highlight almost a minute in. We got the puck coming through, 43 to number 8, Nick Schmaltz. Nick Schmaltz, almost a minute into the second period, and we equalize it up. Let's go Hawks. But yeah, you can clearly see, look at how fast this game goes when you put it on medium. And then almost in no time at all, the Rangers have scored right back. Well, I should say that because it was like 30 seconds ago. But in game time, we're almost at the 3-minute mark. So yeah, this is why I'm trying to figure out if I should just keep it on slow and realize that it's going to have to be on slow just so I can keep up with the action and talk with you guys. Otherwise, a period will go by and you'll miss everything. So we're pretty much exactly where we left off at the end of the first period, except that now we've scored a goal. Rangers, unfortunately, scoring on the other end. So taking a look at where our shot placement is, I'm telling the Blackhawks to shoot it up high, but they're still shooting around center mass of the goalkeeper. They're not really going high. They're staying center mass. They're going wide. The goal that we did score was high, but yeah, I think we're just going to leave it as is right now. We're just going to continue on with this match and just hope that we can get ourselves an equalizer here. After the end of 3 periods, if the game is all tied up, it will go into an overtime period, and if it's still tied up after that, it'll be a shootout. But right now, the Rangers getting themselves another goal. 3-1 right now. We need to start pushing up. Hold up. All right, so on this screen, I'm going to push the aggressiveness up. The shooting should be a little bit more. We're going to go up higher tempo. And I want to say go heavier hitting, but I'm just going to leave it for that right now. So yeah, we're going to be a little bit more aggressive in front of nets to try, or just aggressive overall to try and get back into this match. All right, so I'm going to pause it right here and talk to you guys about a scenario that we could face ourselves with in the next couple of minutes. Usually if your team is down by 1 or 2 goals with about 2-3 minutes left to go in the match, you will see them pull the goalie and substitute on an extra attacker just so you can have a little bit of an overload scenario to try and get those goals back. Now, obviously, high risk, high reward. You're leaving yourself wide open at the back since no defender is going to be guarding the net. Everyone's pushing forward. So if you lose the puck and you don't have anybody back to defend, that's pretty much an easy goal for the opponents. It's not ideal, but you're trying to sacrifice that defense to get those goals, to get back into the match and somehow get yourselves a point. If you get it into overtime, you'll get yourselves a point out of it. But if we lose in regulation, we don't get any points. A win constitutes as 2 points in the National Hockey League. If you lose when you're in overtime, or if you lose in a shootout, you only get 1 point. But hey, it's still a point since you took them to overtime. So right now we've hit the 3-minute mark. And what that means is we need to go and pull the goalie. So what you do is you go to more actions, pull the goalie, confirm, and then whatever you had as your extra attacker, whoever you had as your extra attacker will then come out. If your first extra attacker is already out there, then it would go to your second designated. And let's resume the game and see if anything comes of this, if we can get ourselves back into this match. It doesn't look like it, as we've given up the puck in a bad way, and there it is. We pulled our goalie, we gave up the puck, and gave up a lot of space. And the Rangers have pretty much put this game out of reach now. We are down 4-1, so I'm putting the goalie back in, and we're just going to see out the rest of this match. So not a great start, in all honesty. We lose our opener 4-1 to the New York Rangers. Okay. It's It's also only the first match, but it's not a good look. It's definitely not a good look. Something I need to look into, changing up the lines and whatnot to probably figure that out before the next match versus the Islanders. Now, much like a football manager, the game gives you ratings for each player after each match. However, it's not a decimal point system. It is a single integer, and as you can clearly see by the form. So last match, Hjalmarsson got himself an 8. Tyler Mott got an 8. Artem Anisimov, unfortunately, got a 4. He did pretty poorly. Same thing with Marcus Kruger. He had a 5. So currently their average rating after one match is ranging from 8 to 4. So I'd have to take a look and see, is there anything that I need to do to swap players around to get themselves better, to find the better fit. The only thing that I did switch on these lines is that Kruger and Desjardins have swapped, and Hartman and Schmaltz have swapped as well. Everybody else remains the same. So now we get to the Islanders match, and as I just showed you in the last... So now we get to the Islanders match, and just like I showed you last time, I'm not making any changes. I'm not taking anybody off of my lines, putting anybody else in. We're going with the same players, and we're going to proceed to the game, and we are going to be away from home, like I said, in Brooklyn to take on the Islanders. Let's drop the puck, and let's get this started. And so far, it has been a pretty boring affair, but we do get the puck in a decent position, and actually we are going to have ourselves a face-off. The goalkeeper covered the puck, we took a shot, and we're going to have a face-off. So if you didn't notice already, we're going to be in the white, Islanders in the blue. The goalkeeper just covered the puck in his zone, so we're going to have a face-off in the attacking half. We're going to have Jonathan Toews, number 19, sitting there taking the face-off, since he's one of the best face-off takers in the league. He bounces it out to Hossa, who then delivers it to Brent Seabrook, and Brent Seabrook fires it home, and we got ourselves a 1-0 lead going into the first intermission. Now, I do have the clock on medium speed this time around, so it's going to zip by pretty fast. But as you can clearly see, taking a look at the shot chart, yes, we've had a fair amount of shots. We've had 8 shots total on goal, 4 of them being blocked, and 1 slipping through the 5-hole thanks to Brent Seabrook. So taking a look at the box score, it does look like a normal box score to give you the goal scorer and assister, but in the National Hockey League and just hockey in general, they will have what is known as the second assister. Now, I'm pretty sure the second assister is only there just to up players' point tallies at the end of the season. Now, for those of you who don't know, there is a trophy at the end of the season for most points scored in the NHL, and the way you can score a point is if you score a goal or an assist. They both count as 1 point, so it's basically whoever has the most goals and assists total at the end of the season. I'm pretty sure the only reason why they have a second assister on the stat sheet is just so you can add yourself a point at the end of the day. But anyway, let's get ourselves into the second half, and honestly, there really has not been anything going on right now. 6-5, there is a face-off in the neutral zone towards the Islanders' side. Is there going to be a goal scored right before the end? So to be quite honest with you, the second period was quite uneventful. There was nothing that went on whatsoever. We actually got ourselves only 5 more shots on goal, none of them going through. Overall, just a poor performance. We just need to hold down this 1-goal lead right now. Immediately from the faceoff, though, 43. Did you just see that? 7 seconds into the period, number 43. Who was that? Tyler Mott scoring for the Blackhawks. That was a rip-roar from the blue line. What a slap shot. All right, I know this might be a little late in the episode for me to talk about this, but better late than never, right? Number 1, there is no 3D option, and number 2, there is no replay option. We can only play it on 2D and see everything in real time. There's no way that we can go back and watch highlights. 5 minutes gone, and the Islanders are pushing forward. Number 16, and some great passing. Number 91, Tavares, getting 1 back for the New York Islanders. Come on, boys. We're doing so well so far. Let's get ourselves right from the faceoff. Don't tell me that they're going to score directly from the faceoff. 2 goals in 30 seconds, and the Islanders have just come right back into this game. Like, this was just a gunshot blow to me. Just a blast to the face. I did not expect this to happen. But the Islanders have crawled back into this match, and just like that, it's all tied up. Blackhawks on a power play, coming through. Jonathan Toews rips it through. Oh, we didn't get it. Can we put it back in? Toews does put it back in to Seabrook, to Keith. It's just being passed around. It's in front of nets. Oh, come on, boys. Oh, we waste a power play. Come on, keep it going. All right, we got ourselves another power play. Islanders with 1:15 left in this game. Can we get ourselves a game-winning goal? Oh, this is getting really tense right now. Goalkeeper covers it up. We got to face off deep in their area. And there it is! Brent Seabrook from right about... I don't know how long that is, but Jesus, that was a really, really lovely goal. Blackhawks up 3-2 right now, and I want to know, number 17, he had himself a 5-minute major penalty. I'm going to have to take a look at that. Can we look at it in the box score? Yeah, let's take a look at third period. What did he go into the box for? Because I'm kind of interested. Penalty on Tavares for clipping. That is a 5-minute major penalty. I did not know that clipping was a 5-minute major, but hey, all the best for us. And 5-minute majors, that player needs to stay in there the entire time. Unlike 2-minute minor penalties, where if the team that's on the power play scores the goal, then that player comes out of the box and it's even strength once again. But if it's a major penalty, that player needs to stay in the box for the rest of his time. I think we would be content to come away with a 3-2 win at this point in time. 51 shoots it over the net into the crowd, and we're going to have ourselves a face-off in the attacking half. Just need to waste out these 9 seconds, really. And we will have ourselves the first win of the season, and there it is. Final buzzer, Blackhawks 3, New York Islanders 2. Admittedly, it was a little scary there with the Islanders coming back with those 2 goals in 30 seconds, but a 5-minute major helping us out at the end of the match to give ourselves our first win of the season, 3-2. So there it is. Blackhawks 1 win, 1 loss, and no overtime losses to speak of. So there it is. And that is your introduction to the match engine. If SI decide to put forth the time and effort and the resources to help develop the match engine, it could be a little better game, to be quite honest with you. But as it stands right now, it's very passable, the match engine is. And unlike with football, where you can get suspended for accumulating too many yellow cards, red cards, and whatnot, you can rack up as many penalty minutes in a single game of hockey, and they still won't suspend you. The only way they can suspend you for the next game is if you do something egregiously stupid and dangerous, like slashing somebody, getting into an unmitigated brawl, and whatnot. So, yeah, that guy who got a 5-minute major at the very end of the game, he's not going to get suspended. He'll probably be out there against us in the very next match. Just because it's got a major in it doesn't mean that he's going to get suspended. Anyway, that's just a little bit more about the insight of the rules of hockey, a little bit more food for thought for you. Let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments below. Any more about the rules that you want to know, please leave in the comment box below. But anyway, guys, thanks for taking a watch this episode. It's going to be interesting how this season is going to go, to be quite honest with you. If these 2 matches are any indication, it's going to be an interesting season. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video, share, subscribe, and all that jazz. As I said, comment below on what you thought as well. But anyway, guys, this is Gendo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and peace out.